Frigid temperatures, no sleep, driving rain, rough water, and monster bass. This is Lake Murray, where the best battle against nature's odds for the right to be the champion. 200 started, 10 made the cut. Surviving on skill alone, hunting elusive prey, all of them focused on the objective, chasing down the big bass and $200,000.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes! Damn. Look at that bad boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Glory ticket. $500,000, Richard.
Rarely in sports does the playing field actually become the dominant factor in the competition. Lake Murray has long been considered one of the premier bass fisheries in the country. And today, 10 of the world's best anglers are about to find out why. On this lake, weighing in lunkers is a regular occurrence. Stringer weights can be nearly 30 pounds. It's the second stop on the Walmart FLW Tour. From Lake Murray in Columbia, South Carolina, this is the Chevy Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Leibowitz, along with Charlie Evans. Final day of competition here on Lake Murray, and $200,000 at stake for our winner today. But guess what? We've had wind, we've had bitter cold, and now we have another element added to the mix, rain. What kind of impact is that going to have on the fishing out there today?
Keith, with rain, you get cloud cover. With cloud cover, you get more active bass. We could see some huge stringers brought in today.
And we have seen them brought in all week long, especially by a guy who's considered a favorite here, Anthony Gagliardi. He is just a couple of pounds out of the lead right now, but many believe he is still the man to beat.
He can taste victory. He's brought a limit in every day. We expect him to bring another one in today. It's just a question of how big that limit will be.
Brendan Bosley currently sits on top of the leaderboard, and he has been fantastic the last 2 days of fishing here on Lake Murray, bringing 20-plus pounds to the scales each of those days.
That's over a 4-pound average. He's cranking out there. And again, he's got a lot of confidence. He wants to win this one.
And a man we cannot count out is Tim Carroll. He's been on fish all week long, and he still believes he can catch him.
He led over the first 2 days. Again, stumbled a little bit yesterday, but had that huge 9-pounder yesterday. Get a couple more like that, which he lost yesterday. He goes back and get those today. He could pull this out also.
Clouds may make the bass more active, but the rain is not any fun for the anglers. But whatever the weather, they have got to get out there and go after the big bass. And some of them are putting off getting soaked for as long as they can. The bait shop here at Jake's Landing is looking like a bullpen for an all-star fishing team. Our current leader, Wet Ones Pro Brendan Bosley, he's inside for now, and he's ready to face Mother Nature.
It wouldn't matter if it's frozen. I'd walk out there and dig a hole and go fishing.
And Brendan is hardly alone. Second place, Anthony Gagliardi is in there too. And the hometown favorite has no plans to change his strategy just because of a little rain.
I'm going to stick with what I've been doing, regardless of what the weather does today. That's really the only thing that I know I can do to catch a big enough weight to win it.
Here we go. Look at the rain.
That's Clifford Perch, and he seems to be looking forward to a day of fishing no matter what the weather is. And Charlie, it's got to be tough to run out there in this kind of weather.
You're exactly right, Keith. It is cold. It is wet. It is miserable. But these anglers can't wait to get out on the water because they know the fish are going to tear it up today. Anytime you get cloud cover, the fish get a lot more aggressive. They don't like direct sunlight. They hide from the direct sun. When it's cloud cover out there, they move out from the bottom of the cover up to the top of the cover, get really active. These guys are going to go out there today and pound them.
It's still dark, pouring rain, and the temperatures are in the low 40s. Bad weather for driving a car, but imagine this. Going 60 miles an hour on the water in an open boat, every raindrop that hits you in the face feels like a dart coming at you. There are over 18 pounds that separate our leader and 10th place, but that could be just 2 fish, so this is still anyone's game. Brendan Bosley is on top with about a 1.5 pound lead over Anthony Gagliardi. Tim Carroll in third. The rest of the field will be chasing those 3 down. The state of South Carolina has the Atlantic Ocean on one side and the Appalachian Mountains on the other. Lake Murray sits right in between them in the center of the state, formed by a dam on the Saluda River. It's 55,000 acres of rugged shoreline and inlets. Here's hometown favorite Anthony Gagliardi, who is sticking to his deep water brush piles, and Charlie, it's a strategy that's paid off since day one.
Keith, he had almost 27 pounds on day one, and he's barely touched all of his spots he had in practice.
Yesterday I went and I caught a pretty quick limit fishing brush up in this area, but man, I'm afraid that if I do that today, I'm gonna give up on the opportunity to fish some of this stuff. That's why I decided to come out here now.
Back here, setting the hook. Oh man, this is a strong fish. Look at this fish pull.
You can just hold it right there, Ryan.
Get in the net. Oh no. I believe he's loose. No, he's still there. No, he's gone. He lost that first fish of the day. That's not the way you want to start your day.
And you saw him flip the net back. We don't normally see very much emotion out of Anthony Gagliardi. Saw a little bit of frustration right there. Here's the guy he's chasing. It's Brennan Bosley. And on days 2 and 3, Brennan Bosley was absolutely on fire.
He came from way back, 74th place into 5th place with a 26-pound stringer and won the Energizer Keeps On Going award.
Here's Bosley now. This is keeper number 1 on.
Still throwing that bomber crawfish-colored crankbait. It's been working very effectively for him.
Number 1's the banana boat.
That's a bonus fish, boys. I like it.
Brennan Bosley stretches out his first place lead, and the other anglers have some serious catching up to do. Much more ahead from the Chevy Open on FLW Outdoors. FLW Outdoors from the Chevy Open on Lake Murray is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. Chevy, the official vehicle of FLW Outdoors. Energizer. Energizer batteries and flashlights give you the power to keep going. Kellogg's, the best to you. Bullen, the name means quality. And Tyson. Have you had your Tyson protein today? Here's Tim Carroll fishing out of the Snickers boat. This is his first top 10, and he's hoping for a morning like he had on day 3. Unbelievable performance by him on day 3.
He started out right off the bat with one over 9 pounds. What a start, but only was able to get 2 more keepers after that. Struggled a little bit after that huge fish.
Oh my gosh.
What are working here? Wow.
There's a big one.
He has put some power into that hook set.
It's a hog. Please stay on there, baby.
He needs this one.
It won't come off.
Can't afford to lose this big fish.
Oh my God.
Wow, what a giant!
Look at that one.
A fish like that could win this tournament.
Lord. Oh my God. What a fish. I don't think it's 9 pounds, but it's an easy 7.5.
He is off to a great start. He's got momentum now.
And the crowd goes wild.
When they see that fish, they will.
It's been solid.
Here's a guy who had a tough day yesterday, Katsutoshi Furusawa. Just 2 keepers, but this morning he's already got 1 in the boat, looking for keeper number 2. He's got 1 on.
Fishing with a spinning rod and reel, light line, taking his time with his fish.
Oh.
You got to choke up on it. Oh, that's a nice fish.
Into the boat.
He's fired up.
Good fish.
Yes. We got to see that again. He is pumped up and getting really excited with that one.
If I had a fish like that, I'd show it off to the cameras as well. Great start for Katsutoshi.
Maybe a lot of eggs.
Yeah, a lot of eggs. A pre-spawn bass right there going into the live well. That is fish number 2 for Katsutoshi. Here now is Anthony Gagliardi fishing out of the Chevy boat, and just moments ago, he landed keeper number 1.
He has switched to a crankbait, throwing a Brian's Bees B10 crankbait, chartreuse root beer, and a good solid keeper, about 3.5 pounds to get his day started.
Moved him all around the boat, too, and he may be feeling a little more pressure than any of the other anglers today because win or lose in front of the hometown fans, he wants to perform. From Prosperity, South Carolina, Anthony Gagliardi! 41 pounds, 14 ounces. Holy
I'm extremely glad that, that I have the opportunity to be in the top 10 in my hometown. We bought a house. My parents bought a lake house down here. I was probably in 5th or 6th grade. I've been familiar with the lake for a long, long time. People know me. I'm not the kind of guy that always seeks the spotlight out, but I mean, it's nice to be a hometown favorite and have people cheering for you. I have a lot of family that's never gotten a chance to see one of these weigh-ins at all, so they're all here. My wife took this week off from teaching to be here, and I love it when she comes to the tournaments and gets to see everything and participate. In between tournaments, I can come in and visit with their kids in their classroom and bring things to them and talk to them about fishing, and they love it.
Anthony Gagliardi is the champion here at Kentucky Lake.
I have a win under my belt, so I don't have the pressure. I felt like I had a good opportunity to do well coming into this tournament, and I'm glad that I didn't disappoint. I feel I have a good shot at it. I probably more so than any top 10 I've made. I mean, I have a legitimate shot at winning this one. I've always been competitive by nature, and this, to me, is one of the most competitive sports that there is. It's all about what you do. I mean, you control your destiny completely.
His wife, who's a teacher, promised ice cream to all her students if Anthony wins $200,000. I'd imagine double scoops are in order.
Got keeper number 2 on the line here, taking his time with his fish. Anytime it pulls down, he just gives with it, make sure it doesn't pull off. With a crankbait, they can pull off real easy, especially up close to the boat. He's taking his time here. Slip the net right under it. He's got it. That crankbait is a perfect imitation of a crawdad, which is the major forage right now on Lake Murray.
My nerves can't take that. I think that's one of the strongest fish I've ever caught.
That fish for a 4-pounder was really pulling. He thought it was a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, it had him moving all over the boat there. Anthony Gagliardi has keeper number 2 on board. They are going after it this morning. We have seen some huge fish landed already. Here is Brennan Bosley on the move. He's hunting down the big ones, trying to stay out in front of Anthony Gagliardi.
I'm Anthony Gagliardi. Stay tuned to watch me catch these big bass on my home lake, Lake Murray.
Welcome back to a very soggy Chevy Open here on Lake Murray. The rain has been pouring down all morning, but it is not dampening anyone's spirits, including Terry Seagraves. He started the day in 9th place.
He was over 17 pounds out of the lead. Setting hook here, got one coming toward the boat, but every single fish he catch could move him up the leaderboard and earn him more money. Into the boat. That'll help.
Need a whole lot more than that, though.
He's certainly going to need more than that, but that will get him started. Caught on a jig.
Man, you have to work on slow down there.
Nice start for Terry Seagraves. He puts that into the live well. We move over to Brennan Bosley, who is usually one of the more low-key anglers on tour. But his performance here this week is making the rest of the field sit up and take notice. He's the man they're chasing for $200 grand. Brennan Bosley.
I may not break dance like some guys do. I can hoop and holler a little bit.
I've been on the Walmart FLW Tour 4 years. I've had one top 10. This will be my second top 10.
What a comeback from 75th into the top 10.
I'm tickled to death. Get off to a good start like this. Had a decent finish at Okeechobee and then come here and get top 10. It was awesome.
20 pounds, 15 ounces, a new leader.
When I'm not fishing, I like to fish and fish some more.
Let's rock and roll, boys!
Hey, it wouldn't matter if it's frozen. I'd walk out there and dig a hole and go fishing. Yeah, we're a little crazy.
1 for the banana boat. Number 2. Number 3. It's number 4. Run for the banana boat.
Yeah, when I put that 8 or 9 pounder in the boat, you'll probably see a good reaction.
Yes!
I just like to have a good time.
And he's having a great time this week, and he's got a shot to win $200,000, Charlie.
He's on his way. He's got one keeper in the boat. He's hooked up to number 2 right here. With that crankbait, bounce it off the rocks. Get a good imitation of a crawdad. Take his time with his fish. This is a monster.
Wow.
Yes! Yes! Woohoo! You're going to Walmart, baby!
He's telling that fish that the fans at the Walmart Supercenter are about to meet him.
That's what it's all about.
We got to see that one again. Huge 7-pound fish caught on that crawdad-looking crankbait. Again, throwing up on points. These are pre-spawn fish, getting ready to move up as the water warms up, catching some beautiful big bass on that crankbait up against the bank.
Look at there, folks.
Tim Carroll started today in 3rd place, but he's been making up ground big time. A 7-pounder earlier, and then this one a few moments ago.
That one's over 4 pounds, 2 fish now, over 11 pounds in the boat. Tim is on fire.
Yeah, he's keeping himself in the game, and now he is in the hunt for number 3. He's got one on.
He has switched from the football jig to a Texas rigworm, and it's working too.
We're good, boys.
He is catching some really big fish all week long. Into the net with number 3.
Praise the Lord. That'll help matters right there, baby.
Wow, Tim Carroll is showing why he led the opening round, and this is really shaping up to be a dramatic day. And now Anthony Gagliardi has one hooked up. We've already seen him being moved all around the boat by a couple of fish, and here he goes again.
This must be a monster. He's really taking his time. Again, shoving that rod down into the water, make sure that fish has got plenty of room. Don't want the line tangled around the outboard or on the bottom of the boat. Give him plenty of room. Let him slip the drag if he needs to.
He has gone from the front of the boat to the back of the boat, back to the front of the boat.
These are big, strong fish. No sense in getting in any hurry. Let them take their time. You don't want to break him off or have him pull off.
Yeah, this is a long wait for Gagliardi to get this fish in the net, and there he goes.
No wonder it took so long. That is a monster fish. Keeper number 3 into the boat.
That's what it's about right there.
Anthony Gagliardi clearly worn out from that fish. Brendan Bosley on the move again. There's no clear advantage here. Bosley, Gagliardi, Carroll separating themselves from the field on FLW Outdoors. One of the most inspiring anglers on last season's tour is making waves this season, proving that he is back in the game after a nearly fatal crash. John Sappington's comeback last year defied the odds. In 2004, he nearly died in a high-speed boating accident. His neck was broken. Walking again would be a miracle. Fishing again seemed just a dream.
There was a good chance that he could be paralyzed.
John returned to the tour last year, but it was bittersweet.
Worst I've ever finished in FLW is in points for the year is like 49th, and I ended up 145th last year, and it was hard on my pride.
Now, over a year after the accident, John wants to reestablish himself as a force on the Walmart FLW Tour.
I really feel blessed to be doing this, doing what I love to do and starting to make some right decisions.
Because you are getting back, this is the old John Sappy work here. 16 pounds, 8 ounces, given 24.
I finished 49th here at Lake Murray and got my first $10,000 check of the year. I'm back, look out.
Can't wait to see John back in the top 10. We know he'll be there before too long. Here's Tim Carroll now, who's had a nice day, and wow, what a hook set.
What a hoss right there.
He's got 3 in the boat, 1 a 7-pounder. Here's number 4 on the way.
Oh no, don't break the line.
Fish almost ripped the rod right out of his hands.
The rod away from me.
Oh my gosh. 10-pounder,
Wow.
$200,000 fish right here.
Tim Carroll has never won on tour. He's tasting if he can land this fish.
Get the net.
All right, he got it.
Wow, what a fish!
Look at that fish.
That deserves another look. Great hook set. They're like setting a hook into a stump. He can't move that big, strong fish over 9 pounds.
I can't breathe.
Yeah, fish like that'll take your breath away. He's seeing green with that one, and not just because of the color of that fish. Let's go over now to the Castrol boat. Here is David Smith. He's already got his limit. This is his first top 10 after 11 years on tour, and he's got keeper number 6 coming towards the boat.
Dave already has a limit in the boat. This fish here should call one of his smaller fish. He's catching lots of fish, but he needs bigger fish. He started the day over 12 pounds out of the lead, so just catching keepers won't help. Throwing a crawdad-colored crankbait, that's really been effective here on Murray.
Man, that's a good sign there.
He will, as you said, Charlie, be able to call. Here's Brendan Bosley, and he's working the shoreline in the banana boat. He started the day in the lead. but he is definitely fighting for it now. And just a few moments ago, he landed this 4-pounder. It was keeper number 3.
Yes!
Brennan's having a great day, but so are Tim Carroll and Anthony Gagliardi.
He has thrown nothing but this bomber deep flat A crankbait, throwing it up against those points, bouncing off the rocks coming down, catching free spawn fish, 3 in the boat, and here he's hooked up to number 4.
Oh yeah, Daddy.
Taking his time.
Oh yeah.
He's excited about this one.
Come to Daddy.
Look at the bend in that poke.
Oh, it's a good one. Yes, baby. Yes.
He is having fun out there, Keith.
Wow, the Big Fish Festival still happening here at Lake Murray.
Be still now. You're gonna be a star.
I can't believe that. Again, beautiful cast up on the bank, starting in shallow water, working it out toward the deep on that crankbait, and he's going to take that fish in and show him off in front of the crowd at Walmart.
That's what it's all about.
Hey, I'm Brennan Bosley, and if you like big bass, stay right here, because you ain't seen nothing yet.
Many of the pros are using crankbaits to catch monster bass on Lake Murray this week. FLW pro Sean Hermke shows us how it's done in today's Fishing 101, sponsored by BF Goodrich.
As you can see, crankbait selection can be a very confusing subject. So today I'm going to try to help you make those decisions a little bit easier. Basically, there's 2 different types of crankbaits. One is a very round-bodied crankbait that produces a very wide wobble. I prefer these crankbaits in water temperatures over 60 degrees. The other is a very thin crankbait that produces a very tight wobble. These crankbaits I prefer in water under 60 degrees. Color selection has always been very confusing, and I like to really keep it simple. In the springtime, I prefer baits with browns and oranges. In clear water, I prefer a white or silver shad pattern, and in stained colored and muddy colored water, I prefer chartreuse or yellow bodied crankbait. Now let's take to the water and see how these baits work. First, we're going to start off with the wide bodied crankbait. As you can see with this crankbait, it has a very wide wobble and displaces a lot of water, which the fish really love in the summertime. The flat-sided crankbait has a very tight vibration pattern, and the fish really key in on that in the wintertime. Hopefully with these few tips, you'll become a lot better crankbait fisherman.
Want more fishing secrets from Sean and other FLW pros? Log on to FLWOutdoors.com to watch all of our Fishing 101 lessons. And for more tips, call 877-270-5646 to subscribe to FLW Outdoors magazine. We're going right back out to the Chevy boat. Here's Anthony Gagliardi stalking another fish.
Wow. He is hooked up to a monster here with a lot of pull downers like fish. Oh man, what a fish. Into the net.
Yes, sir.
That's about as much emotion as you'll see from Anthony. He is excited.
He is fired up with keeper number 4. Beautiful fish coming on that jig.
And Charlie, you cannot overstate the pressure that Anthony had coming into this event, and he is delivering for the hometown fans. But Anthony Gagliardi is not the only one hooking up. They've switched on for Brennan Bosley as well. And now he's got a limit in the boat. And that flat A bomber crankbait is working magic for Brennan Bosley. That was keeper number 3. And here moments ago, keeper number 4 for Bosley. And then his limit fish into the net.
Very good. Oh, it ain't as good as I thought, but that's 5, baby. Woo!
Throwing that crankbait all week while the sun was out. The fish were down deeper off those points, hiding under the rocks in the shadows. When the cloud cover comes over, they move up shallower, getting more active. The crankbait comes through, bouncing off the rocks, looks like a crawdad, and they jump on it.
And they've been jumping on it all week long.
Oh, it's a good one, too.
He's hooked up again.
Oh, yeah, Daddy.
Nervous time here. He can see he's just barely hooked in there. So important to have the right drag setting so it won't pull off when he gets out next to the boat, get the net, and get him in the net.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, the crankbait came out in the net, boys. It's my day. Yahoo! Oh, my God.
That was a lucky break.
In the net. My Lord.
Yeah, Charlie, you are correct, because watch, right as the fish is getting into the net, boom, right there, the lure comes loose right as he got him in.
But he had the net in the perfect position. Things are going his way.
Thank you, baby.
A kiss for the keeper. Brennan Bosley will be able to call with that fish. Here now is Katsutoshi Furusawa.
Hooked up here. Good fish on here. Really pulling. Oh, no, he lost that fish. That's got to hurt, Keith.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of extra money for Katsutoshi, and he landed that fish. It looked like a big bass. Here now is Tim Carroll. He, Anthony Gagliardi, and Brennan Bosley have been putting on a show today. Carroll's got another fish on. Look at the bend there.
These fish on Lake Murray are really, really strong. Oh, nice fish.
And Charlie, Tim Carroll is approaching the 30-pound mark, which would be a new single-day record on the FLW Tour. 29.6 is the current record. And Carroll lands another monster.
This lake is unbelievable.
You got that right, Tim.
Back to the jig for a little bit. Caught me another big one.
Hi, I'm Tim Carroll. Don't go away. I'm going to catch another 9-pounder out of Lake Murray. Coming on back.
What excitement we have here on Lake Murray. Legendary Ranger Boats founder Forrest L. Wood tells us about the time the doctor told him to avoid excitement in today's FLW Fishtail, presented by Evan Root.
A few years ago, I had some heart surgery, and the doctor cautioned me about staying out of stressful situations and so forth. And then I was real bored standing around the house, and I thought, what could I do to entertain myself? And the only gun I didn't have was an over and under 410 shotgun, so I ordered one of those and got it. Took my gun, walked out the shed behind the house, and slapped the shed, and the starling blew out. I don't like starlings. They're dirty birds and mess things up, so I shot him, and he fell, and I walked over to look at him for some reason, and there were 2 dead chickens laying there, 2 dead roosters. And so I stepped up to the house kind of hurriedly and said, Nana, I found 2 dead chickens. And she acted like she didn't hear me the first time, so I said it again. I said, Nana, there's 2 dead roosters out there. And she said, I know it, I killed them. I said, you killed them? Why did you kill them? She said, this fighting and wouldn't quit. And I said, why did you kill both of them? She said, I didn't know which one started it. She has control of her chickens pretty well.
Now that is a fishtail. Great story. Here's Clifford Perch trying to make a break to the top of the leaderboard. He's got one on here. This will be keeper number 4 if he can bring it to the boat. But Charlie, it's going to be tough for him to get to the top.
He was in 5th place, coming in over 10 pounds down. Catching some fish, but not big enough to make a huge run. But again, every single fish, every pound, every ounce, move him up the leaderboard and make him more money.
Come on. Oh, my hands aren't working. Yeah, he'll help. I don't know if it's the same one I saw, but...
Here's Anthony Gagliardi. He started 2 pounds out of the lead today, and he's been catching some nice fish.
His bait of choice, a 1/2 ounce black and blue all-terrain tackle jig with a Zoom Pro Chunk trailer. Fishing it slow and deep in brush piles.
We mentioned the record that Tim Carroll was approaching of over 30 pounds, and look at Anthony Gagliardi on another big fish that's moving him around the boat again. Gagliardi also approaching the 30-pound single-day mark. And look at that fish, Charlie.
That is a monster.
Yes!
We could set another record here today, Keith. 2-day record catch, 44 pounds and 14 ounces, could fall today. Lake Murray is really showing us good stuff.
And I think 3 guys have a shot at that record, including Gagliardi, Bosley, and Tim Carroll.
That's the one right there.
Here now is Matt Herron in the Pedigree boat, one of the more consistent anglers, but he has never won a Walmart FLW Tour event. Having some trouble today, looking for keeper number 2. Oh my, look at that.
Hit him right up beside the boat. This is a monster fish. Almost jerked the rod right out of his hand, slip and drag. This is a big fish.
Putting up a big fight too.
That one's on a spinner bait. Man, he needs to get the net. Grab a hold of that fish, Matt. Get it. Finally got it in the boat.
You said that. They're violent, man. They scared me to death. That other one did.
That was over 7 pounds.
And you'll see right here, he caught that fish right at the boat, and all day long we've seen fights like this from the Lake Murray bass.
This one here could move him way up the leaderboard. He started out in 10th place. This fish will definitely help.
And you gotta know, catching a fish like that, Matt Herron was having a great time.
Oh, what the last 2 days.
A new team on the tour this season is the National Guard. The anglers are a motivated bunch, just like the big team they represent.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Melinda Mize from the FLW National Guard Bass Fishing Team, and we'd like to salute the men and women of the National Guard serving overseas. Thanks for your service. We're proud to be a part of your team. Hoorah!
Next Sunday, the top saltwater anglers return to action on FSN as we kick off the 2006 Walmart FLW Redfish Series from Tierra Verde, Florida. Catch all the FLW Outdoors excitement and drama next Sunday here on FSN. Get in on the action by playing the FLW Outdoors Fantasy Fishing Challenge. Log on to FLWOutdoors.com and choose your very own team for the next event. Pick the top 5 anglers and you can win $5,000. It's free to enter, so log on now. Here's Matt Herron. He caught 1 fish all morning, but he's brought in 2 more in the last hour.
That's good.
Hooked up again. That spinnerbait's starting to work for him. Caught that huge fish. And here's another monster fish.
Matt's going to make himself a few extra dollars in this event.
Move it up the leaderboard with fish like that.
That's what's called eating it there.
That fish did eat that spinnerbait. Thinks it's a minnow up there on top of the water. Had 1 fish all morning long. Here in the last few minutes, he has really come alive. That's keeper number 4 coming into the boat.
And here now is Brennan Bosley. His time is up. He's going to pull up the trolling motor and head on in. What a day he had. Entered the final round as the leader. Has a shot to win his first ever event and did everything he could to make it happen. All the anglers would love to score victory here, like Clark Wendland did back in 2000. And that's the topic of today's FUJIFILM FINEPIX Photo Flashback.
I actually caught 1 big fish the last day on a floating worm, and that fish really made the difference for me.
That could be the one.
Actually, that fish came out, and it was coming to me, and I could see it, and all of a sudden the bait dropped down, and the fish bit.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
And I only ended up with 4. Without that fish, I would have had no chance.
Man, that's a nice fish.
Luckily, it was enough.
It's your champion then, Clark Wendland.
We're not far away from crowning a champion here, and the one thing I do know is that it's going to be a 3-man race, Charlie.
Keith, looks like it'll come down to a photo finish between our leader, Brennan Bosley, local favorite Anthony Gagliardi, and Tim Carroll, who will likely set a single-day catch record here today.
And just fishing the FLW Tour is a dream come true for these anglers. But what if they had to do something else? That's the question in today's edition of Ask the Angler, sponsored by Field & Stream.
If you were a bass fisherman, what would you be?
I think I'd be Tony the Tiger.
I'd be an ant farmer.
Well, I guess I'd be a redfish fisherman.
I'd be a teacher.
I would probably be in the medical field working as a doctor.
A rock star. Without a doubt.
Why can't you think of stuff when you ask the question?
No doubt I would be a rock star.
What?
I'm not doing air guitar.
I'd probably be an electrical engineer.
What's the coolest answer you guys got so far?
A race car driver.
Probably actually be able to graduate from college.
My favorite thing to be is a dad.
Man, I don't know.
I'd probably be broke because that's about all I know how to do.
I will be a farmer, which I am, and then selling cheese.
Thanks a lot to all of our anglers. It's check-in time at Jake's Landing. Being just a minute late means a 1-pound penalty. Tournaments have been won or lost on much less.
All right, Flo. Here we go. Everybody's loaded up.
After check-in, it's out of the water and onto the trailers. A rare moment for the competitors to just sit back. A police escort clears the way for the boat procession. And it's a game of nerves now as the anglers and their fish head for the weigh-in tent. Outside Walmart, the weigh-in tent is packed with fans. The giant bass here are sure to be a great show. Charlie Evans is inside the tent and the weigh-in is getting underway. Matt Herron has a big fish, but it's too little, too late. With a 2-day total of 18 pounds, 11 ounces, he is eliminated. Terry Seagraves is also sent to the showers. Katsutoshi Furusawa had a nice fish, but he only caught 2 today. He's gone. Land O'Lakes pro Jeremiah Kindy can't hold on either. He's eliminated. As is Clifford Perch. He has a limit, but not enough weight. And the same goes for rookie David Wolak out of the Field and Stream boat. Brennan Bosley began the day on top. He had a great afternoon, able to cull once he had his limit. With just 2 of his fish weighed, he has no problem keeping the lead. He sets the mark the remaining anglers are going to have to beat in this Texas-style shootout. Tim Carroll is next to the scales, and he answers Bosley's challenge with one of his own.
3:14. I think he's got that. Wow, pretty easy there. Hold it up there. Gee, oh whiz, what a beautiful big bass. 3 pounds, 14 ounces is all he needs. This is his 3rd bass he's weighed in so far. This one weighs in at 6 pounds, 5 ounces, a new leader, Tim Carroll.
So Tim Carroll stakes his claim to the top spot, but this weigh-in is just getting interesting. Hometown pro Anthony Gagliardi was on the fish today too, and he is also armed with a limit of great bass. When he weighs in his 3rd fish, he jumps to the top of the leaderboard, and the crowd loves it, but he knows this tournament is far from over. Tim Carroll is sitting on 2 more fish, and he has proven he knows how to catch the big ones. And let's not forget about Brennan Bosley. He's got more in the live well too. The action continues next. The winner of this Chevy Open receives $200,000, but that's not all. He'll also be awarded the one-of-a-kind Poulin Cut Above the Rest trophy. It's what the anglers mean when they talk about fishing for the eagle. Handcrafted at each weigh-in by Tim Kidding, the only way to get one is to be a Walmart FLW Tour champion. The stakes are high here at the weigh-in. Only 3 anglers are still in the game. For now, Anthony Gagliardi is the leader, but that position is shaky at best. All he can do is wait and see. Brennan Bosley is coming back to the scales. He carries the National Guard leader bag, showing that he led the field yesterday. And all week long, Bosley has shown he's got what it takes to be a champion. Some great catches, including a 7-pounder. And that kind of fish gives you confidence at the end of the day.
That's what it's all about.
But now, he's got to overtake Gagliardi and fight off Tim Carroll. And his 3rd fish isn't enough.
This will be fish number 4 for Brennan. Number 4, and I think he's got it. 2 monsters. These 2 fish weigh 9 pounds, 7 ounces, a new leader, Brennan Bosley.
Now it's Tim Carroll's turn.
Whoa! He needs 7 pounds to take over the lead. This fish weighs in at 8 pounds, 9 ounces, a new leader, Tim Carroll.
What a show these guys are putting on. Anthony Gagliardi now steps to the stage. This is his lake. Will it be his tournament? He has been a force of nature all week. He hasn't let the hometown pressure get to him. Every day has been a great one, and he has consistently brought a lot of weight to the scales. And now is when it counts the most.
These 5-12 to retake the lead. That's a beautiful fish. A beautiful fish. Looking for 5 pounds and 12 ounces. 5-12. This fish weighs in at 6 pounds, 13 ounces, a new leader.
What a nerve-wracking shootout for these anglers. Brennan Bosley has one last fish. One more chance. And whatever Brennan has in his bag, Tim Carroll knows he must beat it to win this tournament and the $200,000 first prize.
It's 2 pounds and 12 ounces. Let's see if he's got it. I think so. 2 pounds and 12 ounces will put you into the lead. This is his fifth fish. It weighs a total of 8 pounds, 1 ounce, a new leader.
Tim Carroll has a fish left, but will it be enough? Anthony Gagliardi will have another shot too. Will the home state jinx get him after all? Right now it's Brennan Bosley who has the edge, but he can't rest easy. We crown a champion next. FLW Outdoors from the Chevy Open on Lake Murray is brought to you by Yamaha Motors. Reliability starts here. FLW Outdoors, look for the hook. Lowry's, a feast for the senses. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. EverStart Batteries, more power for your money. And Walmart, always low prices, always. This weigh-in has been a clash of the titans. All 3 anglers remaining have a shot at eclipsing the 2-day record of 44 pounds and 14 ounces. Right now, Brennan Bosley is on top, but he's already weighed in his limit. Tim Carroll is next up. He's been on the tour for 4 years, but has never made a top 10 before. If he could win here, it would make 4 years of hard work all worthwhile. And he sure got what it takes. He dominated the opening round, but he stumbled on day 3. His big bass today put him back in the running, but can he make up for lost ground?
Whoa. Tim Carroll needs 6 pounds and 8 ounces, 6'8" to take over the lead. This fish weighs in at 6 pounds, 6 ounces, 2 ounces shy.
Wow, Bosley keeps the lead and is guaranteed at least $100,000. The only man standing between him and $200,000 is Anthony Gagliardi. For Brennan Bosley, it would be his first ever Walmart FLW Tour victory. For Anthony Gagliardi, it's a chance to claim the title on his home lake. The excitement is unbelievable. Gagliardi's wife is holding her breath along with the rest of the fans.
You will need 5 pounds and 6 ounces, 5'6", to be the champion here. Make everybody here go crazy looking for 5 pounds, 6 ounces. That spells $100,000 for you.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's weigh her in. This is his 5 bass limit. $200,000 to winner, $100,000 difference. This one weighs in at 6 pounds, 14 ounces. We have a champion.
An incredible tournament ends with a dramatic victory for Anthony Gagliardi and a hug from wife Kristen. 4 days of bad weather, very little sleep, and now this. The hometown hero is the Chevy Open champion. This tournament was truly one for the history books. Tim Carroll finished in 3rd place, but set a single-day record of 30 pounds and 15 ounces. All 3 of our top finishers broke the Walmart FLW Tour record for 2-day total weight.
To be the champion of this tournament and at the same time, hold a record for the 2-day weight is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just, I really cannot believe it yet.
Believe it or not, Anthony Gagliardi has won his 2nd Walmart FLW Tour title. What a victory! It's proof that dreams really do come true. Join us next time from Pickwick Lake in Florence, Alabama. And log on to FLWOutdoors.com for complete tournament coverage and live webcast. For Charlie Evans, I'm Keith Leibowitz. Thanks for watching.